Welcome to the Shadows. Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to my channel, your go-to destination for spine-chilling stories, haunted tales, and the unexplainable mysteries of our world. Whether you're here for a good scare or simply fascinated by the darker corners of human history, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most enigmatic and terrifying locations in the United States, the most haunted forest in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix may be known for its sun-drenched deserts, vibrant culture, and towering saguaro cacti, but beneath its sunny exterior lies an ancient woodland shrouded in mystery and dread. This isn't just any ordinary forest, it's a place where time seems to warp, where whispers drift through the trees like ghostly echoes, and where countless visitors have reported encounters that defy logic. Some say this forest is cursed, others claim it's a gateway to another realm, but one thing is certain. It holds secrets that refuse to stay buried. In this episode, we'll explore the chilling legends surrounding the forest, delve into documented paranormal activity, uncover local folklore, and hear first-hand accounts from those brave enough, or perhaps unfortunate enough, to step foot within its shadowy embrace. Along the way, we'll also examine scientific theories and skeptical perspectives, because even as storytellers, we believe in presenting all sides of the story. So grab your flashlight, you might need it, settle into your favorite chair, and prepare yourself for a journey into darkness. By the end of this video, you'll understand why so many people who enter this forest never return unchanged, and why some don't return at all. Let's begin our descent into the heart of terror. Are you ready? The geography of fear, where legends take root. Before we venture further into the eerie depths of this infamous forest, let's take a moment to ground ourselves in reality, or what little of it remains untouched by myth and superstition. Nestled on the outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona, lies a sprawling expanse of woodland known locally as the Whispering Pines. At first glance, it appears much like any other desert forest, a blend of juniper trees, gnarled mesquites, and prickly pear cacti stretching across rugged terrain. But looks can be deceiving, especially when it comes to places steeped in centuries of haunting lore. A natural enigma. Geographically speaking, the Whispering Pines sits at the edge of the Sonoran Desert, where the arid landscape transitions into cooler, more temperate zones. This unique positioning creates an almost otherworldly atmosphere. During the day, sunlight filters sparsely through dense foliage, casting long shadows that seem to dance unnaturally. At night, temperatures plummet, transforming the warm Arizona air into something icy and oppressive. It's no wonder early settlers described the area as a land caught between worlds. One of the forest's defining features is its labyrinthine network of trails, many of which twist unpredictably through rocky outcrops and narrow ravines. These paths were once used by indigenous tribes for hunting and spiritual rituals, but over time, they became overgrown and forgotten. Today, hikers often report feeling disoriented after only minutes inside, claiming the trees themselves seem to shift positions, leading them astray. Modern GPS devices frequently malfunction here, adding to the sense of isolation and helplessness. Historical context. To truly understand why the Whispering Pines has earned such a sinister reputation, we must delve into its storied past. Long before European settlers arrived, the land was sacred to several Native American tribes, including the Hohokam and later the Akimel-O'odham. According to tribal elders, the forest served as both a sanctuary and a prison, a place where spirits could roam freely but also where malevolent entities were banished. Oral traditions speak of shamans performing rituals to keep these dark forces contained, warning future generations never to disturb the balance. When Spanish explorers reached the region in the late 1600s, they too sensed something amiss. Missionaries attempting to convert the locals spoke of hearing disembodied voices emanating from the woods, voices that whispered warnings in languages unknown to them. One particularly harrowing account describes a group of soldiers sent to retrieve supplies abandoned deep within the forest. Only 2 men returned, their faces gaunt and eyes hollow, muttering about shadowy figures that followed them every step of the way. As modern development encroached upon the wilderness, urban legends began to take root. Locals whispered of strange lights flickering among the trees, phantom footsteps echoing along empty trails, and even sightings of ghostly apparitions. Over the decades, the forest became a magnet for thrill seekers, paranormal investigators, and unfortunately, those seeking darker thrills. What makes this forest unique? While there are countless forests around the world with claims of supernatural activity, few possess the combination of environmental quirks and historical baggage found in the Whispering Pines. Its remote location makes it difficult to access, ensuring that anyone venturing inside does so knowing full well they're stepping off the beaten path. The sheer density of vegetation amplifies sound, creating an auditory experience unlike anywhere else. Branches snapping without wind, leaves rustling despite stillness, and faint murmurs carried on non-existent breezes. Moreover, the geological composition of the area adds another layer of intrigue. Beneath the surface lie extensive limestone caves, some of which connect to underground rivers. Many believe these subterranean networks act as conduits for energy, or perhaps something more sinister. Reports of sudden temperature drops, inexplicable odors, and magnetic anomalies have led researchers to speculate that the forest may sit atop a geomagnetic hotspot, distorting perceptions and heightening emotions. All of these factors combine to create an environment ripe for fear, imagination, and, if you believe the stories, supernatural phenomena. But while geography and history provide context, they cannot fully explain the horrors experienced by those who dare to tread these haunted grounds. For that, we must turn to the chilling tales passed down through generations and corroborated by contemporary witnesses. Legends that linger, tales born in darkness. Having explored the physical and historical foundations of the Whispering Pines, we now move into the realm of legend, the stories whispered around campfires, shared in hushed tones, and etched into the collective memory of those who call Phoenix home. These tales are not mere fabrications born of idle minds. They are deeply rooted in the experiences of real people who claim to have encountered forces beyond comprehension. From vengeful spirits to shape-shifting beasts, the folklore surrounding this haunted forest is as diverse as it is unsettling. The Curse of the Lost Expedition, perhaps the most infamous legend tied to the Whispering Pines, dates back to the mid-1800s, during the tumultuous era of westward expansion. A group of prospectors, lured by rumors of gold hidden deep within the forest, ventured into the woods armed with pickaxes, lanterns, and dreams of fortune. They were never seen again. Days turned into weeks, and search parties combed the area, finding nothing but discarded tools and cryptic carvings etched into tree trunks. One carving, discovered near what is now called Raven's Hollow, read, "Turn back or join us." What happened to the expedition remains a mystery, but local historians suggest the men may have stumbled upon an ancient burial site or ceremonial ground, unwittingly unleashing a curse upon themselves. Decades later, hikers exploring the same region reported hearing faint cries for help emanating from the underbrush, though no source could ever be located. Some even claimed to see shadowy figures resembling the doomed prospectors, wandering aimlessly as if trapped in an eternal loop of despair. The Wailing Woman. Another enduring tale centers around a spectral figure known simply as the Wailing Woman. Described as a translucent figure draped in tattered white robes, she is said to appear near a dilapidated cabin on the forest's northern edge. Legend has it that she was the wife of a logger who disappeared under mysterious circumstances in the early 1900s. Heartbroken and desperate for answers, she wandered the woods until her death, her anguished cries echoing through the pines. Modern-day visitors have recounted hearing mournful wails late at night, often accompanied by the sensation of being watched. In one particularly chilling account, a couple camping nearby swore they saw the woman standing at the edge of their tent, her hollow eyes filled with sorrow. When they tried to approach her, she vanished into thin air, leaving behind the faint scent of damp earth and decay. Skeptics dismiss these encounters as tricks of the mind, but believers argue that the consistency of the descriptions lends credibility to the legend. The Black Wolf Pack. Not all threats lurking within the Whispering Pines are human, or even humanoid. Among the most feared entities are the Black Wolves, a pack of oversized, jet-black canines said to prowl the forest under the cover of darkness. Unlike ordinary wolves, these creatures are rumored to possess intelligence far surpassing that of animals, capable of stalking prey with calculated precision. Their glowing red eyes pierce through the gloom, and their howls send shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. One theory suggests the wolves are guardians of the forest, tasked with protecting its secrets from intruders. Others propose they are manifestations of the same malevolent energy believed to haunt the land. Whatever the truth may be, numerous reports describe close encounters with these beasts. A park ranger stationed near the forest perimeter once told a local newspaper about finding massive paw prints surrounding his vehicle after spending a night alone in the woods. He quit his job shortly thereafter, refusing to discuss the incident further. The phantom stagecoach for those willing to venture deeper into the forest. There exists yet another chilling phenomenon, the phantom stagecoach. Witnesses describe seeing a horse-drawn carriage emerge from the mist, its wheels creaking ominously as it passes silently through the trees. The driver, clad in a wide-brimmed hat and long coat, appears oblivious to observers, seemingly bound for a destination visible only to him. Some speculate the stagecoach is linked to a tragic accident involving a family traveling through the forest in the late 1800s. Struck by a sudden storm, their carriage overturned, killing everyone aboard. Since then, the apparition has been spotted intermittently, always following the same route. Those who attempt to interact with it report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if trespassing on sacred ground. Whispers of the past beyond specific legends, the forest itself seems imbued with an aura of unease. Visitors consistently describe hearing faint whispers, indistinct yet persistent, as if the trees themselves are trying to communicate. Some interpret these sounds as residual energy left behind by previous inhabitants, while others view them as warnings from unseen entities. Regardless of interpretation, the effect is undeniable. Those who listen too closely often find themselves unable to shake the feeling of being followed long after leaving the forest. These stories, whether rooted in fact or embellished by time, contribute to the mystique of the Whispering Pines. They serve as cautionary tales, reminders of the dangers lurking in the shadows. Yet, despite, or perhaps because of, their ominous nature, they continue to draw curious adventurers, each hoping to uncover the truth behind the legends. As we transition to the next chapter, prepare to meet those who dared to confront the unknown, and lived to tell the tale. First-hand accounts of terror-wild folklore provides the foundation for the Whispering Pines' eerie reputation. It is the first-hand accounts of ordinary people that truly bring its horrors to life. These testimonies span decades, offering a mosaic of fear, confusion, and sometimes outright madness. Each story adds another layer to the tapestry of terror woven into the fabric of the forest, proving that the line between myth and reality blurs dangerously within its confines. Sarah's disappearance. One of the most widely circulated accounts comes from Sarah Jennings, a college student who ventured into the forest in 2015 with friends during spring break. What began as a casual hike quickly devolved into chaos. According to her companions, Sarah suddenly froze mid-step, her face pale and expressionless, before muttering, "They're here." Moments later, she bolted into the trees, disappearing without a trace. Search teams scoured the area for days, finding only Sarah's backpack abandoned near a cluster of boulders. Inside was her phone, which recorded a series of frantic voicemails left for her mother. The final message, barely audible over static, ended with Sarah sobbing, "Please don't let them take me." To this day, her fate remains unknown, though some claim to have seen her ghost wandering the forest, her eyes wide with terror. Tom's encounter with the unseen Tom Reynolds, a seasoned outdoorsman, had dismissed the forest's haunted reputation as nonsense, until his own brush with the inexplicable. In 2017, Tom set out on a solo camping trip, eager to test new gear in the wilderness. On the second night, he awoke to the sound of heavy breathing near his tent. Peering outside, he saw nothing but shadows. Convinced it was a bear, he grabbed his flashlight and stepped out cautiously. What he saw defied explanation. Hovering several feet above the ground was a humanoid figure, its body composed entirely of shifting smoke. Red eyes glowed menacingly from within the haze, fixing Tom with an unblinking stare. Paralyzed with fear, he watched as the entity drifted closer, its form elongating grotesquely. Finally, summoning the strength to flee, Tom sprinted toward his truck, abandoning everything except his keys. He hasn't returned to the forest since, swearing that whatever he encountered wasn't of this world. Emily and the Cursed Compass. Emily Carter's experience takes a different, albeit equally disturbing, turn. An amateur geologist, Emily brought along a vintage compass gifted by her grandfather to navigate the forest's twisting trails. Almost immediately upon entering, the compass needle began spinning erratically, pointing in random directions regardless of calibration attempts. Ignoring the anomaly, Emily pressed onward, determined to document mineral deposits. Hours later, hopelessly lost, she stumbled upon a clearing littered with animal bones. At the center stood a weathered stone altar, stained black as if scorched by fire. Compelled by an inexplicable force, Emily placed her compass atop the altar. Instantly, the needle locked onto a single direction, southwest, and vibrated violently. Following its guidance, she eventually found her way back to civilization. However, the compass remained unusable afterward, perpetually stuck pointing southwest, as if tethered to something malevolent. The vanishing campsite. A group of 6 teenagers learned firsthand the perils of ignoring warnings about the forest. In 2019, they pitched tents near a creek, intending to spend the weekend fishing and telling ghost stories. Late that night, one of them woke to find their belongings scattered and their campfire extinguished. Panicked, they called for the others, only to realize 4 members of the group were missing. The remaining 2 searched frantically, calling out names and shining flashlights into the darkness. After hours of fruitless searching, they flagged down a passing ranger, who organized a rescue operation. Miraculously, all 4 missing teens were found alive, but miles away from the original campsite, huddled together and visibly traumatized. None could recall how they'd gotten there, though one muttered repeatedly, "It pushed us." Mysterious photographs. Photographic evidence offers another glimpse into the forest's uncanny nature. Countless visitors have captured bizarre images, ranging from orbs hovering amidst the trees to shadowy figures lurking just out of focus. One particularly striking photo, taken by wildlife photographer Mark Harris in 2020, shows a distorted humanoid silhouette standing behind a cluster of bushes. Upon closer inspection, the figure appears to lack discernible features, save for a gaping maw stretched impossibly wide. Harris insists the photo is genuine, claiming he felt an overwhelming presence moments before snapping the shot. He described the sensation as akin to being watched by something ancient and incomprehensible. Though skeptics argue the image could be explained by lens flare or digital manipulation, Harris maintains that the original file remains untampered with, stored securely on his hard drive. A tapestry of fear. These accounts represent just a fraction of the stories emerging from the Whispering Pines. While skeptics dismiss them as products of overactive imaginations or environmental conditions, the sheer volume and consistency of reports demand attention. Whether driven by psychological suggestion, electromagnetic interference, or genuinely supernatural occurrences, the experiences shared by these individuals paint a portrait of a forest that preys on the vulnerable, exploiting fears and insecurities to ensnare its victims. As we proceed to the next chapter, we'll examine efforts to scientifically investigate the phenomena plaguing the Whispering Pines. Can science illuminate the darkness, or will the forest's secrets remain forever shrouded in mystery? Science meets the supernatural. Investigating the unexplained. The chilling narratives surrounding the Whispering Pines naturally beg the question: can science shed light on these phenomena, or do they exist beyond the boundaries of empirical understanding? Over the years, numerous researchers, paranormal investigators, and scientists have attempted to unravel the mysteries of the forest, employing a range of methodologies to separate fact from fiction. While definitive answers remain elusive, their findings offer intriguing insights into the interplay between psychology, physics, and the unknown. Her team discovered significant anomalies throughout the forest, particularly in areas associated with intense paranormal activity. For instance, readings near Raven's Hollow, where the Lost expedition reportedly vanished, registered EMF spikes far exceeding normal thresholds. Participants exposed to these fields reported vivid auditory and visual hallucinations, describing sensations akin to being touched or followed by unseen entities. While this doesn't conclusively prove the existence of ghosts, it does suggest that environmental factors may play a role in shaping subjective experiences. Geological oddities and geomagnetic hotspots. Another avenue of investigation focuses on the forest's unique geological composition. Beneath the Whispering Pines lies a complex system of limestone caves and underground waterways, which some theorists believe contributes to unusual geomagnetic activity. Geophysicist Dr. Alan Hayes mapped the forest's subsurface structures using ground-penetrating radar, revealing fault lines and mineral deposits rich in iron oxide. These elements, combined with water flow patterns, could theoretically create localized magnetic hotspots capable of disrupting electronic devices and influencing human perception. Dr. Hayes' research aligns with anecdotal reports of malfunctions and compass errors within the forest. His study further suggests that prolonged exposure to such conditions might amplify anxiety and disorientation, potentially explaining why so many visitors feel lost or haunted during their excursions. However, critics argue that while these findings provide plausible explanations for some phenomena, they fail to account for the more overtly supernatural aspects described by witnesses. Acoustic phenomena and auditory illusions. Sound plays a crucial role in shaping the atmosphere of the Whispering Pines. Researchers specializing in psychoacoustics have identified several acoustic anomalies within the forest, including infrasound frequencies below the threshold of human hearing. Infrasound, typically produced by natural sources like wind or seismic activity, can trigger physiological responses such as nausea, chills, and a pervasive sense of unease. Notably, areas with high concentrations of infrasound coincide with reports of disembodied voices and phantom footsteps. Audio recordings captured during investigations reveal additional peculiarities. Spectral analysis of these files often detects low-frequency oscillations corresponding to known infrasound ranges, lending credence to the idea that auditory illusions contribute to the forest's haunting reputation. Additionally, the dense canopy and uneven terrain amplify ambient noise, creating an echo chamber effect that enhances minor sounds, making them appear larger and more menacing than they actually are. Psychological factors and collective hysteria. Beyond physical causes, psychological dynamics likely exacerbate perceptions of the supernatural. Human beings possess a natural tendency to seek patterns and assign meaning to ambiguous stimuli, a trait evolutionary psychologists refer to as pareidolia. This inclination explains why individuals might interpret random noises or fleeting shadows as evidence of ghostly presences. Furthermore, the power of suggestion cannot be underestimated. Once someone believes they've encountered something extraordinary, their expectations can influence subsequent interpretations of events. Group settings amplify these effects, fostering a feedback loop of shared belief systems. Psychologist Dr. Laura Kim studied groups visiting the Whispering Pines, noting how initial apprehension rapidly escalated into collective hysteria when faced with unfamiliar or mildly unsettling stimuli. Her conclusion underscores the importance of considering social and cognitive biases when evaluating paranormal claims. Scientific limitations and remaining questions. Despite rigorous inquiry, science has yet to fully demystify the Whispering Pines. While researchers successfully correlate certain phenomena with measurable variables, others resist conventional explanation. For example, photographic anomalies persist despite advances in digital forensics, and eyewitness testimonies exhibit remarkable consistency across disparate demographics. Moreover, attempts to replicate allegedly haunted scenarios under controlled conditions yield mixed results, complicating efforts to isolate causal mechanisms. Ultimately, the intersection of science and the supernatural remains fraught with ambiguity. Rather than providing definitive answers, current studies highlight the complexity of investigating environments like the Whispering Pines. They remind us that while rational frameworks help contextualize many aspects of our world, some enigmas defy easy categorization. As we transition to the next chapter, we'll explore alternative viewpoints offered by skeptics and debunkers. Do their arguments hold water, or do they merely skim the surface of a deeper truth concealed within the forest's shadows? Debunking the myths, skeptical perspectives. While the allure of the supernatural captivates imaginations, skepticism serves as a vital counterbalance, challenging assumptions and demanding evidence. Critics of the Whispering Pines' haunted status argue that many purported phenomena can be attributed to natural causes, psychological quirks, or simple misinterpretation. By examining these dissenting voices, we gain a broader perspective on the debate surrounding the forest's eerie reputation, Environmental misattribution. Skeptics often point to environmental factors as primary culprits behind reported hauntings. Dense vegetation, coupled with fluctuating weather patterns, creates ideal conditions for optical illusions and misleading acoustics. Shadows cast by swaying branches mimic human forms, while rustling leaves generate sounds easily mistaken for footsteps or whispers. Even the infamous Wailing Woman legend might stem from wind funneling through narrow ravines, producing mournful wails indistinguishable from those of a grieving spirit. Furthermore, nocturnal wildlife contributes significantly to the forest's eerie ambience. Coyotes, owls, and other nocturnal creatures emit calls that, under the right circumstances, resemble human speech or distress signals. Without proper context, these noises fuel imaginations primed for supernatural encounters. Human psychology and perception. Human cognition plays a pivotal role in shaping paranormal beliefs. Our brains excel at pattern recognition, a survival mechanism honed over millennia. Unfortunately, this skill sometimes leads us astray, causing us to perceive meaningful connections where none exist. Pareidolia, mentioned earlier, exemplifies this tendency, prompting individuals to mistake random patterns for familiar shapes or faces. Additionally, stress and fatigue impair judgment, increasing susceptibility to suggestion. Visitors to the Whispering Pines often arrive anticipating spooky encounters, predisposing them to interpret innocuous stimuli as threatening. This self-fulfilling prophecy reinforces existing myths, ensuring the cycle continues unabated. Hoaxes and urban legends. Some skeptics contend that deliberate deception inflates the forest's haunted narrative. Attention seekers and pranksters occasionally fabricate stories or stage elaborate hoaxes, capitalizing on public fascination with the paranormal. Instances of tampered photographs, planted artifacts, or staged audio recordings muddy the waters, complicating efforts to discern genuine occurrences from manufactured drama. Urban legends, too, evolve organically over time, morphing through retellings until separating kernel from chaff becomes nearly impossible. The Curse of the Lost Expedition, for instance, lacks concrete historical documentation, relying instead on oral traditions susceptible to embellishment. Absent verifiable records, such tales risk conflating fact with fiction, perpetuating misinformation. Technological glitches versus ghostly interference. Technological malfunctions frequently cited as proof of paranormal activity often stem from mundane origins. GPS devices rely on satellite signals, which dense tree cover and mountainous terrain can obstruct. Similarly, compass needles behave erratically near metallic deposits or strong magnetic fields, either of which necessitates supernatural intervention. Even camera glitches, once heralded as irrefutable evidence, succumb to logical explanations upon closer scrutiny. Balancing belief and doubt despite compelling arguments presented by skeptics, dismissing all claims outright overlooks the complexity inherent in studying anomalous phenomena. While critical thinking demands rigorous evaluation of evidence, it also requires acknowledging limitations within current knowledge paradigms. Just because science currently lacks tools to measure or quantify certain experiences doesn't automatically render them invalid. Moreover, personal testimony carries weight, especially when corroborated by multiple independent sources. Dismissing witness accounts solely based on lack of empirical validation risks alienating individuals whose lived realities diverge sharply from accepted norms. Instead, fostering dialogue between believers and skeptics encourages mutual respect and collaborative exploration, bridging gaps rather than widening divides. As we conclude this examination of opposing viewpoints, remember that truth rarely resides at either extreme. Acknowledging shades of gray enables richer understanding, inviting continued curiosity and open-minded inquiry. With this balanced approach in mind, let's proceed to practical advice for those contemplating a visit to the Whispering Pines. Navigating the unknown. Practical tips for explorers. If you're considering venturing into the Whispering Pines, preparation is paramount. While the forest promises adventure and intrigue, it also harbors potential dangers, both tangible and intangible. Whether you're drawn by curiosity, scientific interest, or sheer bravado, adhering to safety guidelines ensures a safer, more enjoyable experience. Here are essential tips to guide your journey. Plan ahead. Research thoroughly before setting foot in the forest. Familiarize yourself with maps, trail markers, and notable landmarks. Inform trusted friends or family about your itinerary, including expected return times. Carry emergency contact information and consider sharing live location updates via smartphone apps. Remember, cell service may falter, so establish contingency plans accordingly. Gear up properly, pack essentials tailored to extended outdoor excursions. Bring ample water, non-perishable snacks, a reliable flashlight with extra batteries, a fully charged power bank, and sturdy footwear suitable for rugged terrain. Consider investing in a portable GPS device resistant to signal interference, paired with a traditional map and compass. Layered clothing accommodates unpredictable weather shifts, while insect repellent wards off pesky critters. Maintain situational awareness at all times. Stick to marked trails whenever possible, avoiding shortcuts or uncharted paths. Pay attention to surroundings, noting changes in lighting, temperature, or soundscapes. If you notice anything unusual, trust your instincts and reassess your position. Should disorientation occur, stop moving immediately and attempt to reorient using available resources. Acknowledge the forest's cultural significance. Avoid disturbing archaeological sites, removing artifacts, or defacing natural features. Treat sacred spaces with reverence, refraining from loud noises or disrespectful behavior. Many believe respecting indigenous traditions fosters goodwill, minimizing negative interactions with unseen forces. Capture memories responsibly, exercising discretion when photographing sensitive areas. Use cameras sparingly, focusing on capturing authentic moments rather than staging elaborate setups. Be mindful of consent if filming others, ensuring everyone involved feels comfortable and informed. Share findings ethically, prioritizing accuracy over sensationalism. Recognize warning signs indicating it's time to retreat. Persistent unease, escalating discomfort, or repeated mechanical failures warrant immediate action. Trust gut feelings. Even subtle cues signaling trouble ahead merit serious consideration. Exiting promptly prevents escalation, safeguarding well-being above all else. By approaching the Whispering Pines with caution, respect, and preparedness, you maximize chances of returning safely while minimizing risks associated with exploration. Armed with knowledge and common sense, embark confidently, embracing the thrill of discovery tempered by wisdom gained from those who came before. As we draw this chilling exploration of the Whispering Pines to a close, let's reflect on the delicate balance between fear and fascination that defines humanity's relationship with the unknown. Throughout history, we've sought to conquer darkness, illuminate shadows, and impose order upon chaos. Yet, places like this haunted forest remind us that some mysteries resist resolution, lingering tantalizingly just out of reach. Whether viewed through the lens of science, spirituality, or sheer storytelling prowess, the Whispering Pines embodies the timeless allure of the unexplained. Its legends challenge us to confront our deepest fears, question our assumptions, and marvel at the vastness of existence beyond our comprehension. Each whispered tale, each flicker of light amidst the gloom, invites us to peer closer, listen harder, and wonder what lies hidden in the heart of the woods. We hope this journey has sparked your imagination, stirred your soul, and perhaps even inspired a healthy dose of trepidation. If you enjoyed delving into the shadows alongside us, please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with fellow seekers of the strange and supernatural. Your engagement fuels our passion for uncovering the world's darkest corners. Until next time, keep your wits sharp, your courage steady, and your flashlight handy. Who knows what awaits in the next forest, the next town, the next twilight hour? Thank you for joining us on this spine-tingling adventure. Until we meet again, stay curious, and stay safe. Sweet dreams, or should I say, pleasant nightmares?